All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going through a series of video presentations I've created for the Rankin Technical College AWD Application and Web Development 1111.NET Framework with Web Databases class. The major book for the class, ASP.NET MVC with Entity Framework and CSS by Lee Naylor, is a very complex text. So I've decided first to go over the textbook, Professional ASP.NET MVC5 by John Galloway and others. That book relies on, or does a lot of work from the MvcMusicStore. Well, I was on part 4 and I thought I was clipping along pretty well, but it was giving me some errors here, so I was just going to go back and double check everything that I've done to make sure I haven't made any mistakes. You know, left something out I shouldn't have left out or whatever. All right. So we wanted a new artist.cs. It should have looked like this. So it has an artist ID and a name. So let's start with that. So under my models, there's my new artist.cs, which has an artist ID and a name. Good. All right, next we were supposed to update the album class, and that was supposed to have an ID, a genre ID, an artist ID, title, price, album URL, a genre, and an artist. That looks good. Next, we were supposed to update our genre class, which was supposed to have a genre ID, a name, a description, and a list of albums. That looks good. Then we were supposed to add an app data folder. Well, I already had an app data folder here. I could remove it and recreate it. I don't see what that would buy me. All right, then we were supposed to go down to web config. And I'm not sure if that would be the error or not. So down at the bottom of our web config, we were supposed to add, whoa, that could do something. Okay. This connection string. Now, I haven't been using SQL Server CE, so I'm wondering, I don't think that's the problem, because I'm not getting errors in this file. All right, but I will save everything just for the heck of it. Let's go back and try to run it again. See if I still get a boatload of errors or if it's better now. Okay, there were errors. Do you want to continue? Of course not. It cut down on my errors, which is good. The type MvcMusicStore.models.MusicStore entities cannot be used as a type parameter. So that seems to say that what I put in here is wrong. And that's in my sample data.cs. So let's look at that line. That's in the seed method, but before we do that, let's double check. I looked at the web config. But let's double check is what's shown on page 5 in there. The Music Store entities under our models. Colon DB context. I get hit with this error all the time. I forget to put that in. All right. Well, again, that got rid of most of my errors. There are still a few here, which is fine. But let's take a look at, that cleared up a lot. All right. So this name ViewBake does not exist. It doesn't like this line right here. So let's look at that line. And that line again, I'm just running through this to make sure I didn't miss anything. That's what's left as far as the errors. But I want to go into my global ASAX file and open that up, double check and make sure that in here that this was put in correctly. So system.data.entity.database.setInitializer, new MvcMusicStore.models.sampleData. That should have parens. Paren. Okay. Oh. All right, again, you can see I'm cutting my errors down. All right, that's good. Now we want to go to our store index. We're down to 3 errors here, which is good. Let's go to our store index. So let's close a bunch of these that are open. Here's our store index. Sorry, that's our global ASAX file. There it is right there. Okay, that's the wrong one. Where are we here? Let's update our store controllers index. So, I'm closing stuff I'm hoping I don't need anymore. There's the store controller. There is the index. var genres equals storedb dot genres dot toList return view genres. That looks good. And I am wondering if when I made this error, it's possible I made it in the last chapter and I just didn't run this earlier, so some reason it wasn't getting hit. So, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. The error is, it says ViewBake does not exist in this context. Model does not exist in this context. Those are the 2 errors there. And this last error, okay, they're all in the index.cshtml file. So they're all in the store's index file. They're all in there. All right. So let me do this. I want to see if that line is correct. So that should look like this. According to that, that's correct. I enumerable MvcMusicStore.models.genre. And if I get rid of this one, I'm still going to get the error, but at least I took it right from out of there. So change the first line of the store index to read this. In fact, here's the whole thing, right? Let's grab the entire thing, copy it to the clipboard, and let's paste it in and see. I have no idea. I didn't see anything I thought looked wrong. Still giving me those errors though. Now it's down to 2 errors, where it was at 3. And again, I'm already getting up there. It's already at 12 minutes. Let me pause just for a minute, see if I can figure out what the last 2 errors are, and I'll be right back. Okay, back. Store controller index. Change that to, hopefully change that to this. Oh. Alright, so what I did is, if you couldn't see it, I thought I'd pause, but I didn't, was I removed this and recreated it, but it's giving me an error right there. I'm going to save all, and I'm going to try to run this again, but I'm going to guess it's going to still give me an error. Now it's not recognizing count. See that? It's telling me the connection string. Configuration data isn't valid. Well, let's go back and look at the connection string. have a beginning connection string here. Yes, I do, right here. And there's my end. Again, it's giving me this MvcMusicStore.sdf. I don't really think I want to be using this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to an earlier, something earlier that I've done. All right, so I'm going to have to close a button there. And let's look at this BS2 that's here. And I want to look at the web config. I know this one at least was working. So let's edit it here. I'm not going to actually edit the change. I just want to look at it. So I'm going to change all this stuff. In fact, I'm going to grab this. If that's the default connection or not, but I'm going to make a bunch of changes in here. That's the name. I'm going to change the connection string as is shown right here to data source this local slash all of this, attach this. I'm going to make it this. .mdf, MvcMusicStore.mdf. I'm going to remove this initial catalog. Try to keep the integrated security. This may be, I may be going from bad to worse doing this. I don't know. Provider name, SQL client. All right, so I'm trying to do that. Again, as I said, I may have made this worse instead of better. So hopefully I did not. Still getting that error for count in here, and I don't know why. And my guess is if I right mouse click and I choose view in browser, it's still going to give me the error. Yeah, and it does. It does not like this connection string. Problem reading the configuration file. I do want to pause now. Alright, I'm back. I'm getting a different error. Part of the problem that I had, just so you know, if you care, is in here I had that line in web config down here, but I'd already had it up here. And it's set up here correctly, I believe, for a regular database. So now, though, when I came back and I ran it again, I got a different error. Cannot attach the file MDF as database with this to MvcStore entities. See what I did here. This was an earlier program. So I'm going to grab this line right here, copy it to the clipboard. I'm going to go back over to here, because again, this is different than it was in the text. So add names. I think I want that to be my default connection. That might be what it is, because that should be MvcStore entities in there. And the default connection, that should be not sure. Thing. Take for granted that that's the same thing. So 402, yep. It's true. Do I have the provider name in there? Is it just on the next line? Yes, I do. I'm going to try just doing this. Probably, again, turning this from bad to worse, but like that. Okay. Back to here and here and try to run this again. Son of a biscuit. Again, it's saying it cannot attach that file. It's looking for MvcStore entities. Why that? .mdf is database file for that. Well, let's change it to that. Let's see what that does. I had run over this last semester and didn't run into this kind of problem. That's why it's very interesting that I am now. Okay. Again, I think in many ways when I do this kind of thing, I go from bad to worse. So. Golly. Oh, I'm going to grab that error, copy it to the clipboard, and just see if anybody else had a similar type of error. But right now, again, I'm just blowing this out of the water. That's way too big. I'm going to stop and start up again.